Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Voting is underway for office bearers at the ANC's Gauteng elective conference taking place in Benoni. Earlier, matters were delayed by the checking of credentials and other matters. This prompted Pule Mabe, who's the ANC spokesperson, to suggest that perhaps conferences should run for longer than 3 days.
Shouldn't we rather have our conferences for a period exceeding 3 days? Because clearly 3 days does not appear to be enough to run a conference of the African National Congress. I mean, we're drawing lessons, and these are matters that the National Executive Committee would have to be seized with to make sure that conferences of the ANC could, without constraining themselves on time, be able to conclude on their business. Important to us is that when delegates leave conferences of the ANC, they must feel enriched, they must feel empowered, they must feel that they have made a contribution.
Now, the two candidates vying for the position of ANC chairperson in Gauteng are MSC's Banyaza Lesufi and Levy Ndou. We're now joined by political analyst Dr. Levy Ndou to speak to us about this. A very good afternoon to you, Dr. Ndou. Thank you for your time. Perhaps let's go back a bit. Let's talk about what happened yesterday leading up to this conference. We know that right in the middle of it, the court interdict, the urgent court interdict took place last night, and the outcome resulted in this conference being able to continue. Let's perhaps reflect on that.
Good afternoon to you, Mpho. Good afternoon to the viewers at home. One had expected that some of the members of the ANC would actually take the route of the court. And I think from the point of view of those who took that decision, it might be informed by the fact that there are still outstanding issues that relates to the conference in Ekurhuleni, and we know that some of the delegates are still not happy about what actually happened at Ekurhuleni. Of course, one might also point a finger at the leadership of the ANC, because in my view, they should have dealt with this matter very fast, so that when delegates go to a provincial conference, they're actually quite happy about the processes. But equally, I could sense the confidence from the spokesperson of the ANC, from the chairperson of the ANC in Gauteng, Mr. Makura, that their processes and systems appears to be in place, and they are following everything through the processes of the party. And when the people who took the matter to court could not win the case, it strengthens the point of the ANC that indeed they appear to be on top of their game when it comes to how to deal with matters of processes and procedures within the party, and of course, disputes. What appears to be the biggest challenge in the ANC, even though the spokesperson of the ANC, Pule Mabe, talks about extending the dates of the conference, yes, are issues that relate to credentials. And I think the ANC has learned from the Eastern Cape, from Ekurhuleni Regional Conference, and now in Gauteng, that they argue and they spend a lot of time having to discuss credentials. And that is something that the ANC has to look at, reflect on it, and actually try to do things better so that they don't waste time dealing with matters pertaining to credentials.
We also heard ANC National Chairperson Gwede Mantashe, as well as provincial leader of the ANC in Gauteng, David Makura, telling the branches at conference on Friday that the warning signs of the ANC's departure from the helm of the country's economic hub were very real, warning against the battles, the infighting, and the factional divisions.
You expect the ANC, which is based in the economic hub of South Africa, not to spend a lot of time discussing credentials, not to spend time taking each other to court. You expect the ANC in Gauteng to be able to deal with issues that are related to the economy of Gauteng, which supports most parts of South Africa. You expect the ANC in Gauteng, which has lost metros, to come up with better strategies in order to rebuild and unite. You expect the ANC in Gauteng to spend more time on matters of policy, on matters of strategies and tactics, and of course, on matters related to addressing challenges that are faced by the middle class in Gauteng, which appears to be the missing link within the ANC. You expect the ANC to be very relevant, to know how to go out and reach out to the masses so that the ANC has to remain relevant. And if they have to spend time with what they've been doing at this conference, of course, it should be worrying. Hence, would hear statements similar to this one coming from Gauteng and David Makura.
Analysts have also warned that the ANC's traditional support base may choose to stay away from the polls. Looking at the manner in which conferences have occurred this year, I mean, how real is that probability? And perhaps what sort of introspection should the ANC in Gauteng be doing to ensure that come election time they are able to secure the majority that they expect?
You need the ANC that is able to read the mood on the ground. You need the ANC that should be able to connect with the people on the ground. You need the ANC that must, when it elects its leadership, it must know that it is electing the leadership that is grounded, the leadership that can easily connect with the people on the ground, the leadership that knows and understands the challenges that are facing people on the ground. An elective conference of the ANC, it is just an event. The ANC has to look into the future so that the leaders that they elect should actually be relevant for the future. And that is the opportunity that the ANC appears to be missing. And I see ANC delegates focusing more on who is going to be the chairperson, who is going to be on the top 5. It is necessary for the party, but not quite primary, because the party must be able to look at the future and then elect leaders that are going to take the party to the future. And that is where the ANC, for me, has to focus on.
Very well. Thank you for your time, Dr. Levy Ndou, political analyst, giving us a sense of his view on the ANC Gauteng elective conference.